Dr. Randall, the Soul Doctor, author of Soul Doctoring, Heal Yourself, Heal the Planet, shares her 40 years of experience as a cross-cultural practitioner, medical futurist, and expert in 20 different modalities. Amazing interviews with some of the leading minds in medicine and big thinkers in all walks of life. The stories of our lives are the woven energies of our soul's paths. They feed and ignite the spiritual light that nourishes the universal soul, the one mind, the cosmic consciousness where we all come together. This podcast is going to be a deep dive into the personal stories of people who have made significant contributions to the planet. What formed them? What moved them to become these leaders and innovators that inspire us so? Hi, Conchetta.
Oh, you froze. Hi, Dr. Randall.
How are you?
I'm great. It's fun to be here with you.
It's finally I get to talk to you.
I know.
That's funny to me because Conchetta and I work together on my podcast. So, I'm always chasing her around. Anyway.
And your podcast is so good.
Thanks.
It's Soul Stories. We need to promote it. So everybody has to listen to Soul Stories, an incredible podcast.
Yeah. I started it based on, picking people that do something that no one else has done, that can raise consciousness in a unique way. So we're going to see how you raise consciousness in a unique way. I've spent a lot of time with you recently and listening to your music and looking at your stuff, and you are a very unique person. So I have some unique questions for you.
Amazing.
Yeah. So first of all, let me just introduce her. A lot of people know her because she's famous. She's a pop. I would call you a rapper, but then I'm not a professional music person. Although
I call myself
a lot of time
a
with
rapper.
music with my podcast, but I would call you a pop rapper. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you're very sensual and sexual, if I might say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that I actually do all kinds of songs, but I am very much known for that. And I think it's because in the 90s, when I first started rapping, it was all these men hip hop who were super sexual and I'm going to, this bitch and this, that and everything. And I was like, well, how come women can't rap about that stuff too? What, so it started from back then as sort of a feminist type of
so
of
instead
thing.
of the dick, it was the pussy.
Yeah. But of course, exactly. But nowadays it's every female rapper is all about sex and everything. I actually rap about politics. I rap about a lot of different things too. But
well, your most recent thing is on politics. It's called the two-party system or something. And
yes, is broken.
How our two-party system certainly does need help, right? And the theme is that. So,
well, exactly. And the thing is, about raising consciousness, I really wanted to shed light on that because what I really see happening on the planet right now is division. It's Republicans against Democrats, races against each other, genders, just it's kind of intense, all the separation, so what I like to do is bring comedy to a serious situation. And then that's how I try to raise the consciousness,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've even worked with people like Margaret Cho, who are famous comedians, and
Amy Schumer. Yeah.
Yeah. And done sort of comedy raps, if you will, on with them, to emphasize what's going on there.
Yeah.
What was that
exactly.
work with her? What was that about?
Oh, I've been working with Margaret for a long time. I met her out here in LA when I was still living in New York. And she told me that she was a big fan of my music because in my music is just a lot of comedy. I first got big with my song Bad Babysitter 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was all about being a bad babysitter. And of course, now I have a kid. So it's like, oh, no bad babysitters, please. But so I met Margaret at a club that she was performing at. She wanted to do something with me, and I was like, cool. I've never really like worked in comedy per se. I've only just kind of made my hip hop songs, and they're pretty funny. But so then we started collaborating, and we worked on a lot of songs together. We did something about our butts. I remember that. But like, oh, you'll appreciate this as a doctor.
Oh, that wasn't
we did
Pussy's Got Pop or Still Pops one?
No. That's the one that I'm getting older, but my pussy still pops. That's when I turned 50 and I wrote that one. But no, this one was about, it's called My Booty is Efficient. And so there was all this, talk in hip hop about
Could
butts.
you repeat that? My
booty is efficient. Like it's very efficient.
Yeah.
So I'll explain what that means. So basically, like, in hip hop, it's always about like, ooh, baby, your butt is fine. And they're like, it's like dancing and like the butt and everything. But it's about how efficient your colon is and like how good it works. And it's kind of a song about pooping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'll have to show you that one. I feel like you'd like it.
Well, I spent all morning with Pussy's Got Still Pops.
But
I liked it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because
it's about what you were doing there, though, is she's honoring, if I may, older women in a way.
That's
to
it.
Say, they're still beautiful and all their parts still work, and it's just kind of cute, this song too, and it's so thanks for that.
Yeah. Aw, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think about you because you're so beautiful and you're doing so many amazing things, and it's like why it's like aging is so intense in our culture. It's like in other cultures you'd be considered like a beautiful elder. In our culture, which is such a like youth oriented culture, like they don't really appreciate aging. And so I saw that. So I was like, I'm gonna write one. Yeah.
Oh no, definitely, it's great. I mean, youth is highly overrated and aging is highly underrated, because when you're older you really begin to appreciate wisdom. And it doesn't require youth to be beautiful. You're beautiful in a lot of ways. You're beautiful from your heart, from your authenticity, from your compassion, from who you are as a person. And, we can try to look pretty too. It works. It's all right.
Well, and you're such a good example of that, because you are beautiful. And like, I think you hold a great example, for many, many women.
Well, it's about health, and you're into that as well. You're into healthy eating and organic and vegan and, the right supplements for the right situation. And of course, a lot of us know that I just was through a life-threatening event with my health after a motor vehicle accident, and then subsequent complications and here I am. And if I wasn't so healthy to start with, I probably wouldn't be saying here I am. So
I witnessed I witnessed how quickly you got over this, like such intense illness, like where
it didn't seem quick to me, but yeah,
I know. But you're such a warrior. Like most people, they would just be laid out for years, or like you even said, like not around. And like, because you take such amazing care of yourself, eat organic, eat so many vegetables, and you really walk the walk and talk the talk with what you teach, you just healed. Like it seemed to me like overnight. I know it didn't feel like it,
No.
but it was really amazing to watch and inspiring.
Yeah. And that's a lesson for people, and that, and you're doing it too. And one of my questions for you actually was, how do you, you're basically a sex goddess. How do you maintain your sex goddessness and, and your health, and raise an 11-year-old girl at the same time? How do you do that?
Oh my gosh, I'm tired all the time.
That's a very unique, position that needs to be honored is a mom that can also do all those other things. So
yeah, thanks for saying that. I guess I would say that I like run a pretty tight ship. Like I'm just like, okay, this is the time I'm going to do for my self-care. This is the time I'm going to work. This is the time I'm going to take care of my daughter. And this is, and I do so many things. Taking care of myself, and I'm taking care of her, and I'm taking care of like people I work with, or, my own creativity. For a long time, my creativity went on the back burner. I'll tell you that much. Like raising a kid, plus we like homeschool. So a long time, I just didn't do my music. I mean, for years and years, I didn't do my music. And that was actually super painful. And I was like, I can't live like this anymore. So sometimes things do take a back burner. And then, but now it's like, I'm not living like that anymore. I'm doing my music again. So that's
did you
been amazing.
Start doing it again, or when did you stop doing it?
Oh my gosh. Well, I really, when she was born, I would say, so 2011 is when she was born, and I sort of put music to the back at that point, and then I would do it here and there. And then it was like here and there. And I guess I would really say that even though I put out Getting Older, My Pussy Still Pops, that I put out Two-Party System Broken, like I still wasn't really working on music the way that I am right now. Right now, it really only just started like a couple weeks ago, where I was just like, I need this, and it doesn't have to take hours. I think that's the other thing that like I had to break out of. Back in the day, we used to lock yourself in the recording studio for 10 hours, to make a song or whatever. I can't do that anymore. I don't have that life. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to work on a song for 45 minutes today. I'm going to work on a song for 15 minutes today. And as soon as I sort of just like shifted my head around it, like that's been really fulfilling for me. It's just like, just go do your creative thing for 15 minutes. That's my like advice to anybody who like wants to accomplish something. It's like for 15 minutes a day, and you'd be surprised what you can accomplish.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. I made use of some of that when I wrote my book, but I don't know, like doing the podcast, and I mean, we lock ourselves in the studio for 5 hours to finish a podcast.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah.
I know. And then sometimes you have to do that, but it's like, I guess it's like, I feel really happy right now where I'm at with my creativity, because I really did kind of stop doing it for a while. And then and you don't have to, it doesn't take hours. Sometimes,
No, the creation comes quickly. It's getting it, manifesting it into another, or transforming it into what the art piece is. It takes.
Yeah, I can, for sure. Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's so great, I gotta say, about Soul Stories. Like, it is incredible that you score it, and you score each and every one. And I remember when we first started, I was like, you don't need to do that, because podcasts don't really do that. And you're like, no, that's why I want to do it, to be, because it's what I want. And like, that's incredible. And it's really turned out to be such an amazing choice, and I'm so glad you didn't listen to me.
Sometimes I'm known for that, unfortunately.
But that's good, because that's you being an artist. That's you and your creativity, where you just know what you want.
Well, you definitely are guilty of that. You've had 2 top 20 songs. You've had multiple best-selling albums. You've worked with numerous phenomenal physicians and producers like Armand Van Helden, like Moby, Kool Keith, Prince Paul of the Soul, Chili Gonzales, DJ Hell, and the Prodigy, where you actually were featured in their album, which went number 1 in the UK. So you're guilty of that too.
Yeah. I think it's like, you got to know to be a good artist, you have to know what you want,
Yeah. Well, they didn't pick you because you didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had some dance hits too, right? Tell us about those.
Yeah. Well, probably my best known song is called Perfect. And that was a dance hit. And that was number 3. That went to top 3 in the UK. And it's cool. I actually just ordered, one of those like gold records that can be on your wall, that you've seen those. I just ordered one because I was like, well, why not? Why don't I have this? This is already from, I don't know, 15 years ago. Like, so I'm getting one of those for my wall.
Well, if you earned it, you should get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I know the guy that I work with that helps me finish my pot, Larry Antonino, he's got a platinum one.
Ooh, yeah. Was that from like Santana or something, or like who did he work with?
It was from
again?
a movie that he did with Tom Hanks called That Thing You Do. A very catchy movie and song. Amazing.
Well, you know what? Let's put a picture of you next to it on your Instagram.
Oh, we did. We did. We have that picture.
Oh, okay.
You have it.
I have it, and I forgot what it was for.
But it was a top hit during the movie that he made with Tom Hanks, and then he ended up in the movie.
Oh wow, he was in the movie.
Yeah, remember when we did that podcast on him as well, on Larry Antonino? He's a excellent bass player that he works with Pablo Cruz. But
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know. I can't remember things. That's the other thing. Sometimes like I have mom brain, mom brain is a real thing. Like when you have a kid and you just like, you can't hold all the things in your mind.
Right.
Or actually, maybe I need to take a supplement. What are good brain supplements? Tell us, doctor.
Yeah, well, there are brain supplements. My favorite is coffee fruit extract, which increases your BDNF,
Really?
which is your brain derived neurotrophic factor, which is
it's like the opposite of DNA. It's RNA, and it's in the areas of your brain that cause Alzheimer's. And if you take it like within 30 minutes, you increase your BDNF by 143%. And we've been saying, oh, it's coffee. We're drinking coffee. That's doing it. No, it's actually the fruit that we've been throwing away for, eons. And it turns out it's the fruit that's the more important thing.
Oh my gosh. See, I love it. I love working with you because you just know so much. And it's like, it's so great.
Well, I love stuff like that. So it sticks on my brain. I'm like, well, we need to remember that, or
we need more coffee fruit.
Things like that. We need to know the things that do the magic that we're not honoring because, we need to keep it around.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool about you and Rare is that like you're a medical doctor, but you're also into like alternative and holistic health. And that is amazing because that I feel like is the secret sauce. So it's not like you're one all the way or one all the way. It's like you can use so many, and you have so many modalities, not just the two. You're like 1,000 different types of doctor.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I've always loved to understand how things work. And it used to drive my mother crazy, but I'd say, why? Well, why is this? Why is that? And she goes, you're driving me crazy with the why, It's like, so I became the why person. But
it's great.
Like on Instagram the other day, there was a guy and he he's like, he discovered supposedly that if you put herbs in water, he was talking about cilantro, and then he said you put a plastic bag over it, that'll last for a very long. I'm going like, wait a minute. I made a post, I think, almost a year ago, maybe 6 months, but there are many herbs that if you put them in a jar in water, they will last indefinitely. And forget the plastic. Who wants to put nanoplastics in their food, for God's sake? No, you don't need plastic. Just put it in the water, like you'd grow a plant. Put it in your windowsill. You've got basil and cilantro and any kind of herb, rosemary for forever.
No way. That's crazy.
I
That
could
is
take
amazing.
this camera in the other room and show you my windowsill right now.
I love stuff.
And then
like
you
that.
always have it to cook with. You've got your
hear.
rosemary, you've got your basil, you've got, whatever you like to cook with or what you can get to grow there. And I love to grow sprouts too, because sprouts are like anywhere from 10 to 300 times more potent nutritionally than the actual vegetable that you grow the seed with. I think I got broccoli growing right now.
That's amazing. Yes, you and me both. We have Hamama plant grower or sprout. We should get sponsored by Hamama.
Yeah,
we're not
you don't
sponsored
really
yet.
need. I mean, no offense, Hamama. You can
Yeah.
get seeds from the garden store and make your own. You don't really need their. It's just because I'm lazy that I buy them.
That's me too. I was like, I don't have time. Like I'm going to put down their seed bed, but you could grow them for like pennies and you have the most like nutrient rich thing there is.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's pretty amazing. Just water. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So, I mean, yes, Princess Superstar is a health nut. As well as a sex nut, I guess. And maybe it's just that people like those, that they buy those more because, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? People are attracted to those things. But I like the way you do it because you use it as a parody.
Yeah.
You use it as to gather people's attention, but then you bring it to another level. Like we're doing this because like the two-party system, your most recent one, or, hey, it's not so bad to be old. You don't have to not have sex. It still works,
It still works down there. Yeah, exactly. I like to bring people to the deeper message, grab them with whatever. And also it's just fun. It is fun to be a little raunchy, a little naughty, like, and it's like, exactly, like we still are sexual people, or that we're older, so what, and it's fun to just be like brazen, and have fun with it. So so that's cool. Yeah.
I saw this somewhere. You'll have to tell us where. It was a video of you, and I was just like a blink of a second, and I never could find it again. But it was you and some other women, and your butts exploded.
Oh yeah. I think
they were it was cute. You were like rainbow colors and lights, and it was
cool. That must be on a firecracker video potentially. I think it was like us in Times Square dancing.
But they kind of first it looked like was cartoon. It was animated.
That's definitely got to be I'm a firecracker. So that's that video. There's like me animated and my is like exploding, and then we're in Times Square, and then I had dancers and and we were just like totally guerrilla filming in Times Square. Like we didn't have a permit, so like, okay, hurry up, go dance, run the sound, and like it was really fun.
It was great though. It was a great piece.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun.
And I'm going, did you really do that? That was great.
Seeing a whole other side of me.
So what's been your favorite work so far?
Oh my goodness.
Other than your kid. I know that's.
Yeah, that is my masterpiece right there. I think probably my favorite thing that I did was this in 2005. So we're talking a good 17 years ago. I did like a science fiction record called My Machine. And it was like I really wanted to do like something like, the Who's Tommy, or something that was like a story. And so I did this crazy story about a superstar whose ego goes out of control and she takes over the world. And it's set in the future. And so she clones herself, and like all her clones like are in the top, like win all the Oscars and win all the Grammys and like all the, just like so crazy and over the top. And then in the end, one of her clones like takes her down. And it is about like underneath all of the fun and everything is really about like the death of the ego, So that was one of my favorite things that I did. And I got to take that on tour and like do a whole theatrical stage play to it. Mm-hmm. So that was amazing. Yeah.
That reminds me of that movie from long ago. It's called Hal, where the computer...
You mean 2001?
2001.
When
the computer takes
like, what
over.
Are you doing, Hal?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that movie. And like Blade Runner, any of those old sci-fi movies, like I just love them. So that was like that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, I went as Blade Runner to a Halloween party once. I remember when I was.
Oh my God, we have to dig up that picture.
Yeah, I was a perfect. Well, I don't remember her name, but if she had a name or a number or.
Yeah, I forgot her name too. It was so good. Yeah.
But what was the movie star's name? What was her name?
Oh, it was oh God, Mom, I need some coffee fruit extract.
You need some coffee fruit extract.
Oh my God, this is.
She was also in. Gosh, we should remember this.
I know. Why do we not remember this? This is like
one of the. I don't know. She's a great actor. She's a. She was in that movie with Uma Thurman, Kill Bill.
Oh, Kill Bill. That
played
was also a great one.
Yeah.
Well, I know it was Ridley Scott, and then who was the actress? I'm just like, now I'm just looking it up. I can't take it.
If you look up Kill Bill, you'll find it, because she was the main enemy, one of the main enemies of Uma Thurman.
I know, like
Beatrice Kiddo.
I know people in the audience are probably like yelling it to us right now. Anyway, I can't even.
Can you look up
it
Kill
right now?
Bill?
Because there was like a new Blade Runner, so all that's coming up.
Oh no, but look up Kill Bill and they'll list all the stars. Now we gotta say it. Now that we brought it.
Exactly.
Because David Carradine was Bill.
Yeah,
Uma Thurman was Beatrice Kiddo.
Oh, Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah. That's who it was.
Yeah.
How could we forget?
I don't know.
Splash. Remember Splash? She was so good. I remember I loved her as a mermaid.
Right. Yeah, she's done so many unique things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Daryl, we're sorry. We temporarily didn't remember your name, but we honor you.
Yeah, we love you, Daryl Hannah.
and your parts.
Totally.
Yeah. So that was your favorite. What was your favorite musical piece, or that was your favorite piece altogether?
That's probably
the Star Wars kind of thing.
My machine. Yeah, I think that was my favorite thing that I've ever done. But I'm having fun right now because I've been making really silly, tiny comedies for Instagram. That's been fun. I can't say it's the most favorite thing I've ever done, but you're always having fun in the moment of what you're doing. So in this very moment, I'm making like very silly, tiny little comedies. Just about life, really.
Mhm.
So that's been fun. Yeah.
it's
And I
good.
don't know what I'll do next. I have no idea.
I could turn into a blog almost,
Yeah, that would be fun. Like
Mhm.
commenting
Well, it's
on
along the
life kind of
same
blog.
nature of what you do, which is using parody, and comedy to, bring out the ills of livelihood and the earth.
Yeah,
So you could use that.
I like that. I should do a blog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it just become one.
Yeah, or just become one. Yeah. Like
Mhm.
that's cool. I like that idea. Super fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're already doing it, really. You're already doing it. Just put a name.
Yeah, I just
all you got to is label it.
put it up on the web, really, because it's right now just living on social media,
Mhm.
which
is
and
okay.
by the way,
That's where blogs live for the most
True.
part, right? I mean,
yeah. I just found out that Instagram owns all your content. Did you know that? Like if you post something, then Instagram owns it.
yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah, but so
I guess you're right. It's like what can you do? What can you do?
I
This
mean, why
is
do
the
I
world we
care?
live in.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I own it too. You mean I can't sell it? Is that what you're saying? Or
I suppose you could sell it.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I plan to do. I want everybody on this podcast to go and like my YouTube.
Yeah, your YouTube
It's
is
a combined project
awesome.
between me and Conchetta, so that's really good. And if you want to hear some more of the information, like she was saying, from a doctor / healer / herbalist, / scientist, that that's where you're going to hear it. These are outside of the box thinking about healing body, mind, spirit, and emotions.
Yeah,
and also
which
go on
we need.
Amazon.com and get my recent book called Soul Doctoring: Heal Yourself, Heal the Planet, which we're going to have a book launch finally on October 22nd,
Woohoo!
which will be great.
Yeah, everybody needs to go get her book. It's so amazing and so like what the planet needs right now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's not a 40, 50, 60, 100 page book on self-help. This is a serious book, which is a semi-autobiographical journey, but then through the journey and then through my patients' healings, and then finally, it shows how to heal, basically how to heal yourself.
Yeah, super
think
necessary.
outside the box, and not just what. Now, I'm not saying anything about Western medicine. I love Western medicine, but it's the combination that's powerful.
Yes, I totally agree. That's how I've always approached all my health stuff. With
even when I was at UCLA, they were the last hospital that I was at during this health tragedy that I had. They worked with me.
Yeah, amazing.
They're the first group of doctors that worked with me to think outside the box, because the combination of stuff I had was weird, Twilight Zone weird. And, I kind of put it together, and they thought with me, and we threw things back and forth and came up. We even did micro dosing of some medications, which is
amazing.
Yeah, out there. So that's I really admire them still, and thank them for my education. So
yeah, shout out to UCLA, because so many doctors that I meet, I'll tell them about some alternative thing and they look at me like I have 5 heads, and I hate that experience. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you do have 5 heads. They need more heads.
Exactly.
The more heads, the merrier, I always say.
Yeah, exactly. Can achieve a lot more.
Yeah. Because, So anyway, so get the book, listen to the podcast, listen to Conchetta, and if you can find her on YouTube. You have lots of YouTube members.
Yeah.
I need to get more subscribers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can find me on my Instagram, which is at Princess Superstar. And I also have a radio show on Dash Radio, which is an LA based station every Thursday night where I play music, but I also talk about the state of the planet and like what's going on in the news, but what they don't tell you is going on in the news.
Yeah, that's
like I read
See,
a lot
that's
of
another
alternative.
outside of the box thing
Yeah.
I was going to mention. I didn't know you
Mhm.
had a radio show.
Yeah. I really love it. It's on Dash Radio. Actually, you should come on my radio show too. So next I'll grab you. I don't really have too many guests, but I'd like to have you on. And yeah, and I talk about like things that are going on, but from an alternative perspective, just because like the news, I believe, is like so heavily biased that you have to read all different kinds of news to get what's actually happening, or and because I think like a lot of the mainstream news, it's just like brainwash. It's like crazy.
Right.
So yeah, so I talk about that and I play music basically. And sometimes I get in
Good.
trouble. I get my videos taken down from YouTube because I talk about
Yeah. Oh,
we're not going to mention it.
it's all right. It's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So this has been so great. What do you want to leave us with, Conchetta? What sort of life pearls?
Well, I guess what I'm working on right now in my own life is like, I really love the Gandhi quote, which is like, be the change you wish to see in the world. So it's like, I'm really working on like, where am I an asshole? Where am I horrible? Where am I like, and like really kind of like looking at that with compassion, because we're all human beings who are like kind of insane, and so I just like to leave people with that. It's like, okay, like we want world peace. Well, we have to like bring it in ourselves, and it's like, if I'm gonna like fight my husband, or I'm gonna, whatever, like that. So it like begins with us, so that's what I'm working on. And I'm not perfect and I make lots of mistakes, but like that's what I guess I would love to leave people with.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Yay. we need to be the change. Be the change.
Yeah.
Like you said, be the compassion. Be the love. Because there's no better way.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I
Be
love what
authentic.
you're doing. Yeah, be authentic. Exactly. And I love what you're doing, because you're doing it out in the world, and it's just awesome to know you.
Likewise.
So thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Conchetta is my number one person that helps me with my podcast, or my my podcast too, but my Instagram, my social media. That's what I'm trying to say.
I love doing it.
So
yeah.
Trying to get the word out that we can be better people.
Yeah, go follow Dr. Gail Randall at Dr. Gail Randall on Instagram. Anyways, I will see you soon.
Okay, yes, you will. Okay. Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
I'm Dr. Gail Randall, creator and host of Soul Stories. I just want to thank you for listening to my podcast. I recently got a notification from the International Podcast People, and I was astounded that so many countries are listening to my podcast in the category of alternative health. So thank you, and please continue to listen. I especially want to thank Egypt, Croatia, Japan, and Switzerland, also France and Ireland, because my numbers were quite high there. So keep up the good work and check out my Instagram at Dr. Gail Randall.
And particularly check out my Instagram TV, where you can hear me talking about alternative medicine subjects and also see me. It's a very good show, and I think you'll like the subjects. It's on 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday, but it's recorded there, so you can find it there anytime you look. Okay, thanks again. I love you guys. This is Dr. Gail Randall from Soul Stories, and author of Soul Doctoring, Heal Yourself, Heal the Planet. I want to thank Saltology, our sponsor, at bathsalt.com, which fits perfectly into my medicine bag as it, like me, calls upon the ancient wisdom and modern technology to heal, especially with the stresses and ills of our modern times. The Bokek brand uses organic salts combined with organic essential oils sourced from ancient Egypt to provide a perfect remedy for your bathing ritual and healing from modern stresses. The Relief RX brand is a unique one-of-a-kind healing salt that uses organic CBD, treated with a unique emulsification process to create nanoparticles which easily enter the skin to most effectively heal and relieve aching muscles and joints. Whether from chronic inflammation or just a rough workout, this is the perfect healing bath, especially when you add the organic essential oils of neroli, lavender, eucalyptus, or grapefruit. Your body, mind, and soul will be lifted and soothed like never before. Go now to bathsalt.com. I also want to give special thanks to Larry Antonino and Agora Borealis Recording Studio for music and score, and also to closetotheearth.com for IT and computer assistance.